with Scott McLaughlin driving the number 3 Team Penske Chevrolet, beginning his hard to believe time flies, man. 5th full season in the NTT INDYCAR Series, coming off a year with 3 wins and 5 NTT P1 awards, and tying his career best with a 3rd place finish in the championship. All that aside, we want to know how fatherhood's treating you.
Great. Yeah, she's a superstar. Little Lucy. Yeah, she started sleeping through the nights, which is good. So we put her down, and we've got a pretty good rhythm the last 3 weeks. I'll probably jinx it now, but I can't say it, right? No, but we put her down around. Oh, I'm going to say it, but we have the 4 B's, right? It's bath, boob, book, bed. And we got told that, and it's a no-brainer. Like, it's just, and she goes down at like 9, and she wakes up at 8 or 7:30.
Wow.
I know, but I have made the mistake a couple of times, and I've woken up in the morning, and I've gone, geez, she slept through the night, huh? And Carly goes, no, she didn't. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the drama.
Dad slept through the night.
But yeah, I did. Right. But look, my wife, she's amazing. She knows, it's important. I got to keep training, I got to keep going, and that's the best part about it is finding how we've both adapted to it.
Moms are amazing, really.
Yeah, she's killed it. I was there for the whole thing too. It was incredible. I cut the cord, got in there. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I'd do it again. It was thick. Yeah,
look at the memories.
40-hour labor she went through.
40 hours.
Yeah,
that's enough.
It's crazy. Oh man, she's a absolute trooper. Love her.
Well, congratulations.
Shout out Carly.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right, open up for questions. I know you have some and some online as well. Begin with Bruce and then Nathan. Go ahead, Bruce.
Since you're a big football fan, do you think Bryce Young is panning out better now that he's returned at quarterback?
100%. I mean, the question is going to be, is he better than C.J. Stroud? You know, that's what I'm starting. I look, Texans are in the playoff, absolutely, but I thought Bryce and his throwing, he's been really good lately. So
his upside is probably better than the guy.
I'm just glad we're sorted in that regard, because we're not going to make an emergency QB situation, kind of like the Vikings are looking at right now or whatever. So, or Jets.
His upside may be better than the quarterback in this city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Having the same gang back together, I mean, the 3 of you push each other pretty good. Sometimes you get along great. Other times you may get a little ruffled with each other. But having that consistency at Team Penske, I guess that's one of the hallmarks of the operation. How important is that?
Well, it's very important to set foundations, and obviously we've worked together now this is my 5th year full time with these guys, and we've had our ups and downs for sure, but I think that's just normal for guys that are really competing at the highest level, and I feel like we've all got a chance to win a race week in, week out, but they've certainly brought out the best of me, the best teammates that I've ever had in that regard, but yeah, it's you'd be surprised how good we work, for how competitive it is behind closed doors, like in the truck and stuff. Like, we're very open book, and everyone sees everything, and I think that's why we see ourselves, pushing each other even harder.
Nathan?
There's a lot said last year, particularly down the stretch, about Will being in the title hunt, being second a lot of the time to Alex Palou, who eventually won the championship, and you kind of quietly, maybe to some extent, overtook him in the standings over those last couple of weeks of the year. You have the 2nd season in a row where you're the top Team Penske driver in the championship. You've mentioned it before, but what kind of pride do you take in, if you don't win a championship that year, to still be the best among your teammates across the 17 race season? Yeah,
I mean, it's been a goal of mine. Even before I was at Team Penske, it's for me. I always want to beat my teammates, because you don't want to be. You have all the equal machinery, and that's just a common ground for any race driver. But at the same time, it was a bummer for Will. I mean, I shouldn't probably passed him at the end. Like, he had a pretty misfortune in the last few races, but that is the sport we're in. But yeah, I was really proud of our stretch, our home run. Run to home, I guess you could say, in the last couple of years have been great. I just got to get off to a better start, and I know that. But I've got all the ingredients that I need to not only, be the best Penske driver again, but also potentially, take that next step, which everyone knows is what I want. So, working really hard in the off season, but surprisingly, having the baby and stuff, it's been great to get away from it all as well and just focus on something other than racing for once.
I think I remember you told us coming into last year that you really truly felt like you could come out and win this championship, and you got fairly close. But coming in, winning now 2 oval races in the back half of last year, something that you hadn't done yet. Do you feel in any way even more prepared having gone through last year? Like, do you feel like you really know maybe even more what it takes as you kind of plot out your goals and how you approach the 2025 campaign?
Yeah, I think every year for me is such a learning deal, particularly from where I started in late 2020 to like now. I'm a completely different race driver. And the mindset needs to change compared to other championships that I've been in as well, because things can just turn on their head so quickly in IndyCar. I thought I had the ingredients to win last year, and I still think I did. I just hadn't won an oval yet. We were close. But now, having won the oval, obviously that's given me a lot of confidence. But I'd be lying to say that I feel any different to last year. I certainly feel like I'm in the same boat. It's just a matter of circumstances and me putting myself in different positions. And hopefully, sometimes you just got to have a little bit of lady luck as well. It's just got to go your way. And I don't think that has been kind to us, but it's been kind in other places. So we'll keep working, and I'm as confident as ever for sure.
And as you reflected on last year, are there ways that you feel like you could improve, or the team could improve, or maybe like what are the missing pieces to put a championship program together?
I look back at 2 races, probably Toronto. Obviously, that was a teammate drama, but that was a race where I was probably in my head I was just going to finish where I finished, but it didn't happen. That hurt. And then Laguna, where I made a move on Will, which didn't need to happen. Whether it was Will or if it was Kyle Kirkwood, that was a move that I probably didn't need to make at that point. And I cost myself a ton of points for what I was ultimately going to gain if I made the move come off. So that was a big learning after that race. And I think, from that race onwards, that's why I was probably most bummed about the Toronto incident, because I felt like I was in a spot where I just had set up everything to be in a good position and just be satisfied with where I was finishing. But yeah, you always learn, and I think that's what I can do better, is maybe just accepting the position I'm in and taking the points.
Kevin,
you've arguably been improving each year you've been here, and that shows on the results. It looks somewhat similar to your time in supercars, where you got better each year, and then that ended with 3 seasons in a row in the championship. Does that feel similar to you? And do you feel like you're kind of on that cusp now?
Yeah, it's funny you brought it up, because I've said that to Ben, my engineer, a couple of times. Like, I feel like I'm in exactly the same position when I signed on with Penske in like 17 for supercars back then. I just feel like I've done a lot of my learning, and I think in 2016 as well in supercars I finished 3rd in the championship and had a couple of race wins, and I really felt like I could have that next step. And ultimately I didn't win that championship. I lost it on the last race, but I put myself in a really good spot, and I feel like I'm in that same mindset here. Like I feel like I've lost all my habits that I had in touring cars. I feel very with my fitness and all that stuff, my neck and stuff that is outside of the car, I feel very comfortable with. And, I also know a lot of faces in here. I know what this day's all about. I know what airports to fly into. Like, there's so many different things that you come to a new place that you forget how easy it was. But I feel a lot more comfortable now.
Eric?
When we were talking in Nashville, you said your 3 team, you kind of felt like you were the Buffalo Bills of IndyCar. You're a rowdy fan base, thirsty threes, haven't won the big one yet. Do you feel 25 that you're going to shed that moniker and this is almost a championship or bust type season?
Yeah, because Bill's going to win the Super Bowl. So that's my pick. So I love Josh Allen, man. Yeah, I think I feel good, and everyone knows I have fun and muck around and whatever, but I'm pretty serious, obviously, at the same time, and that's just how I go about my racing. And I think we certainly feel like we're on the cusp of something really cool, but at the same time, what I talked to Bruce about, I've got 2 amazing race drivers as teammates with exactly the same opportunity. So it's about me trying to find the most out of myself as much as anything. And I've learnt sort of things in bits and pieces that I need to learn from, but I'm gonna have to evolve throughout the season like we all do, to be there at the end.
And have you studied the path to maybe win this championship? Alex won 5 wins, won a championship. He won twice last year. Will talked about maybe going back. He was maybe a little aggressive last year and want to go back to how he won the championship. Have you guys studied what's the right method, what's the right path to win this championship?
I think you just got to do it your own way. As much as you can plan and think about what you can do and what you can. We all know the right path is just consistent results and with a few wins along the way. I think you need to win a couple wins. I think you need to win a couple of times for sure. But consistency is key, and we all know that. So it's but it's just you've got to eliminate those big bad results, and we had a few of them last year which really hurt. I'll probably say 3. You had Detroit, where I crashed out by myself, and then Laguna and Toronto. Regardless, Toronto, whatever, like I still crashed out, and it cost us a lot of points. Where Palou and Dixon were like just from the back to the front and just cruised, and that hurts. But we can all learn from that and get better.
Let's take a couple off Zoom. I think David Turner from Racing World in New Zealand. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, good morning to you all, and Scott, Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
The first question I kind of got for you, which all 3 of you guys talked about last year from Team Penske, was how much work you'd done in the off season, and you were looking at maybe the short track oval program and the whole oval program, and we saw the results of that. I just wondered whether during this off season, if there's been something that you've been targeting as a team, whether it be road course or oval again, to keep that improvement momentum going.
Yeah, I think, the 10 car, Alex has been really quick on road courses over the last few years. So I think ultimately maybe trying to find a little bit of speed. I think our race pace is really strong, but our overall outright pace, places like Mid-Ohio or whatnot, which need to improve a little bit. But yeah, we had a pretty solid year pace-wise on all tracks. But there's definitely room for improvement. And I'd probably say on a street circuit-wise, I'm highlighting Long Beach. I don't think typically I've been that strong there as other street tracks that I go to, so I'm circling that a little bit on the simulator, and and then obviously just continuing our work that we've done on short and the super speedways.
And then looking at a place not too far from where you are right now, and the fact that Penske took the clean sweep at Indianapolis last May, and you took your first pole position for the Indy 500. That was obviously a very special moment. Going into this May, does that mindset become, we need to do the same thing again, more of the same? Does that linger in your mind, or is it clean slate, move on, new year type deal?
A bit of both. I think we've got to continue to evolve and get better, because everyone saw what we had last year, and they're going to be chasing that deficit as well, particularly in qualifying. But I think for me mentally as a driver, it was nice to run up the front at the 500 and lead laps and stuff that I haven't done before. That put me I think it puts me in a really nice headspace going into it, knowing what that feels like and the position I need to be in. We had a mechanical sort of issue throughout the race last year with the clutch that really, honestly, it hurt us a lot and took us out of that lead group, or at least those first few positions. So, knowing that probably mistake, fingers crossed, won't happen again, and we can know that we can race pretty aggressively out the front, and I know what I need to do from a time perspective. So, driving perspective, not going to try and change too much, but we definitely have to evolve as a team to get better, because everyone's going to be chasing.
And I guess, you had Simon on board as well, so that played a part for you personally as well.
Yep.
Just one final thing. Obviously, you team up in a couple of weeks' time with an ex-competitor, SVG, who's been down here. I've spent some time with him at Western Springs Speedway. How does it feel to be in the same team as a former rival?
Yeah, it's funny. It's weird, actually. We certainly, especially over here now, like we go out for dinners and have beers and whatnot, and hang out a little bit more than we probably did in the past. But not that we didn't like each other beforehand. It's just it was awkward, and now it's just we're sort of friends and teammates, and excited for Daytona. I head to Daytona tomorrow for the Raw, and then the 24. It's such a good start to the year, and I think we've got a really good good car and a good team lineup. I mean, Connor Zilic is superstar over here now, and then Ben Keating's probably the best bronze you can have. So we got a really good shot, but it all depends on BOP and all that sort of stuff. But hopefully, I have full confidence in GM and Corvette, and that we can come with a really good package and give these European manufacturers a good go in our land.
Oh, it was great. It was great seeing him here and having Justin Marks come down here as well, spend the evening at Western Springs and checking out, SVG on his home turf. So it was a lot of respect, I thought, from Justin to be able to do that. And then seeing you guys team up, it just keeps the Kiwi flag, waving. So wish the pair of you the best for that, and really looking forward to 40 odd days from now back at St. Pete. It'll be a great season.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David. We got time for one more. Alex Gins from frontstretch.com. Go ahead, Alex.
Thanks, Dave. Scott, looking at the performance you put on at Indianapolis last year, taking the pole, leading that Team Penske front row lockout, as well as were it not for, the penalty at St. Pete, let's say, the championship could have been firmly in your grasp. Looking at 2025, what would it mean more to be Scott McLaughlin Indy 500 winner or Scott McLaughlin IndyCar Series champion?
I've always said the Indy 500 for me, because, and it's similar to how I felt in Australia. It's not a disrespect to the championship itself, but everything needs to go perfect on that one day. Like you have to have a perfect race and make it happen. And ultimately that's what happened to us when we won Bathurst, and then we won the championship. But the 500, the championship itself, you can have a bad race and come back, and there's a lot of things that can happen. Your competitors can have moments throughout the season, whatever. And look, that would be an amazing objective as well. But for me, the 500 won, the history of it, but also just, it's just an amazing race, and that's certainly what I dream about the most.